Before the video begins, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Join the Discord server in the description down below, and if you'd like to support me, please share the channel around, or you can donate to this little box at the bottom right corner using any of those 4 methods. Anyways, let's get right into it. Hello everybody, welcome back to a new One Punch Man the Strongest video. Today we're going to be going over every stat in the game, so let's get right into that. So starting off with the main stats, being attack, def, HP, speed, crit damage, block rate, block, hit, and resistance. Attack. Now, the thing that increases your damage when you deal damage based off attack. Defense. The most useless stat in the game, doesn't do anything. HP. Now, this is how much health points you have, how much damage you can take before going down. And some characters do use attacks based off of their maximum HP, being, Garo, for example. Then we have speed. Speed decides what order your characters move in. Higher speed means your characters move quicker, I guess is the way to put it. So for example, if you had 6 characters, the character with the highest speed moves first. Speedsters do a good job of doing this by speeding up fellow allies or fellow characters, and thus granting more speed to them and maybe making you be able to win more. Then we have crit. Now, as it sounds, crit is actually crit rate. Now, crit rate, is basically how often you will hit a critical hit. The crit damage is basically just how much more damage a critical will do based on instead of a normal attack. Block rate, as it sounds, increases your chance to block. Blocking basically just blocks direct damage. However, blocking can also trigger other effects like Garo's reflection or shield gain, being in Shadow Emperor's core. Then we have block percent. Now, block percent, what this basically does is it increases how much damage you block. So, for example, about half the direct damage that Garo would take would be blocked when he blocks. Hit basically is how often you will apply a status effect. For example, being specialized burn, specialized or like lock, like specialized corrode, all those stats. It increases how often those will hit. And then resistance or res. This stat is mostly used to counteract hit, as generally you don't want to be hit with those status effects. This works for locked, specialized burn, specialized corrode, shatter, all those things. Now, next up, we have the extra stats. That being attack growth rate, def growth rate, HP growth rate, speed growth rate, crush rate, crit res rate, damage free, ultimate damage, ult res, ultimate resistance, heal rate, drain rate, damage reflect, red def. I don't actually even know what that one does, to be honest. DOT free, EX damage free, damage resistance rate, specialized or single attack, column attack, row attack, group attack, single attack boost, column attack boost, row attack boost, group attack boost, shield rate, arena damage plus, faction damage free, crit damage free, or non-crit damage free, instant damage evasion, specialized attack, specialized defense, damage reduction, true damage increase, and specialized evade. Anyway, let's get right into this. Attack growth rate. Now, it is a little difficult to explain this one. However, it mostly affects how much, gear and everything affects your HP. So when you gain HP, you'll gain 50% more than what it says, or something like that in that general regard. Def and HP growth rate, as well as speed growth rate, are also very similar in that regard. So it mostly just affects how much HP your character gains, or how much of that stat it gains. Crush rate. Now, crush rate is actually very interesting, as it is your chance to bypass a shield, which is very interesting, as I don't see it being very used. However, it used to be very strong back in Drive Knight and Bangpoo Core. Crit res rate. Now, lengthening this status effect or stat would be crit resistance rate. Basically, how often you resist a crit. Now, something to take note about this is that 100 crit res rate actually halves your opponent's critical rate. Then, any extra after that does a very similar thing. So, for example, if you have 200%, then you take a fourth or half of a half. So basically for example, if Carnage Kabuto has 100% crit rate and I have 200% crit res rate, then Carnage Kabuto's crit rate is going to be 25%. Damage rate. Now this increases how much direct damage you're going to deal. And usually rate is like this. It really just tells you how much damage you're going to deal most of the time. Then we have damage free. Damage free in all of its forms mostly just reduces the damage you take total. For example, damage free works on, I don't remember if it works on all damage types or just direct damage. It could be both, but I'm not entirely sure. Then we have ultimate damage. Now, this is actually ultimate damage rate, as it just increases the amount of damage, or directed damage, I believe, you deal with your ultimate. Now, this could also count towards, I don't think it buffs true damage, but specialized extra damage, or other sorts of damage. Then, next up, we have ultimate resistance. This does the exact opposite of ultimate damage. It actually lowers the amount of damage you take from enemies, very similar to damage free, except for only for ultimates. Heal rate. This increases basically how much HP you gain from healing. For example, a higher heal rate during Boros' core directly translates to more HP bars. Drain rate. Now, this is actually like a lifesteal kind of thing. The more drain rate you have, the more life you will steal. More useful during You Are Giro and You Are Boros cores. However, still an interesting stat to use. Damage reflect. Damage reflect is directly as it sounds. You reflect damage. Typically, that would be like extra damage, direct damage, not DOT typically, but you could deflect DOT. I'm not entirely sure. But generally, it's extra damage and direct damage. Then we have Red Death. Now, I'm not even entirely sure what this does. I think it lowers the defense stat of your enemy. Next, we have DOT. And as this one likely sounds, DOT just increases the amount of DOT, or damage over time, you deal. For example, this only works on special, like those applied effects like Locked, Specialized Burn, Specialized Corrode, Normal Burn, Normal Corrode, all those other ones that I probably don't remember, or maybe that's all of them, I don't know. Anyway, this basically just increases the damage there. Dot free increases the amount of, or decreases the amount of damage over time damage you take. This is rather self-explanatory, as I did define what free meant in this game. Extra damage free. This lowers the amount of extra damage you take. Damage resistant rate. Very similar to damage free, as you just resist damage, so you take 30% less or something like that. Single attack. This increases the amount of attack you'll deal, increases the amount of damage you'll deal with someone doing a single target attack. Column, row, group, attack are all very similar and affect their own thing. Column is the little side-by-side front and back rows. When you hit one in the front, one in the back, in the same row, or in the same column, that's column attack. Things that do that will deal more damage with more column attack. Row attack is the up and down. Characters with more row attack will deal more damage to a row. And group attack, characters that attack all characters will deal more damage with group attack. Then their respective boosts are the exact same thing. It boosts their damage to single, column, row attacks, and group attacks. Shield rate. What shield rate does is essentially just increase the amount of, let's say, tenacity you get. It increases the amount of shield you will gain by whatever percentage. Arena damage plus. This gains you more arena damage. So basically you deal more damage in arena modes. Faction damage free is as it sounds. For characters of the same faction, you will take less damage in that mode. I don't believe it works on, like, in their own, what's it called? I don't believe it works in every arena mode, but I think it just works in the faction modes, like Peak Arena. Non-crit damage free, being this one right here. What non-crit damage free does is it increases the damage, or decreases the damage you take from non-critical hits. Instant damage evasion. What instant damage evasion does is it gives you the chance to evade a hit. For example, like DOT, direct damage, extra damage, all that jazz. It will increase your chance of taking only one damage from that. Specialized attack and specialized defense. These are the two most important stats in my opinion. And basically what these do is they calculate, one, specialized attack calculates how much goes into how much damage you deal to someone. Based on how much specialized defense you have. And specialized defense helps calculate how much damage you'll take compared to someone else's specialized attack. Basically, the higher you have these stats, the less damage and the more damage you will deal. Or the less damage you'll take and the more damage you'll deal. True damage reduction. As it sounds, it reduces what's called true damage, also known as false damage in Eurocore, because it stops being able to be evaded, or it starts being able to be evaded. Then true damage increase. As it sounds, increases the true damage dealt by characters like Garo, Drive Knight, Carnage Kabuto, Genos. What are other characters that deal true damage? I don't know. Then we have specialized evasion. Very similar to instant damage evasion, it gives you a chance to evade all damage types, which is super great, except for true damage, unfortunately, until you get to Eurocore. Next, we have what's called instant damage accuracy. This is basically the direct counter to instant damage evasion and specialized evasion. Basically increases your chance of not hitting only one damage by 70%. So if something has 70% evasion, generally it should directly counter that and give you a 100% chance to hit. Anyways, that is all the stats I can really think of off the top of my head, and all the really important ones. So, thank you guys all for watching today's One Punch Man the Strongest video. If you did enjoy, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Join the Discord server in the description down below, and if you'd like to support me, please share the channel around, or you can donate to the little box in the right-hand corner using any of those 4 sources and input my UID and SID to help me buy black tickets for more polls. Anyways, before the video ends, I would like to thank our channel members, being S-Class and Thaddeus said cool in S-Class, and no one yet in God level. Anyways, I hope you guys all enjoyed, and I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.